I just finished watching Season 1 of Castlevania Nocturne. Is it worth your time? As you can see, the series has a 100% rating from the critics, but only a 45% from the audience. What does it all mean? This thing got review bombed pretty quickly. So in this review, there will be spoilers, and oh yeah, I've got something that is absolutely going to shock you about one of the characters. Ooh, let's get into it. Welcome back to EBN. Today I'm going to tell you everything that you want to know about Castlevania Nocturne. And it has been recently announced that Netflix has greenlit a second season. Real quick, just in case you need it, what is Castlevania? You're going to enjoy this. The Castlevania series began as a video game franchise created by Konami. The first game in the series, titled Castlevania, was released in Japan in 1986 for the Nintendo Entertainment System. The game followed the story of Simon Belmont, a vampire hunter who set out to defeat the evil Count Dracula in his castle. Some of my best memories as a child. The success of the original game led to the creation of numerous sequels and spin-offs over the years, making Castlevania one of the longest-running and most iconic video game franchises. The series has expanded to various platforms, including handheld consoles, home consoles, and even mobile devices. In addition to the games, Castlevania has also inspired other forms of media, such as an animated series on Netflix and comic books. And that is exactly what we're talking about today. Animated series. It's a continuation of the iconic Castlevania anime on Netflix. They gave us 4 seasons. Now, I loved the first 2 seasons like many other people out there. It continually got kind of worse in season 3 and 4, but overall, iconic series. They did a great job. So like many of you, I was very excited to watch Castlevania Nocturne and see what it was all about. The series is set in 1792, during the French Revolution. It follows Richter Belmont, Maria Renard, and Tara Renard, Annette, and Edouard. The series premiered on September 28, 2023, with 8 episodes in its first season. The series begins with the small team of Richter Belmont and Maria and Tara. Richter is the last descendant of the Belmont line, after witnessing the death of his mother Julia at the hands of the vampire Ulrox. The young Belmont loses his innate magical abilities. Due to losing those magical abilities, he became a master of the whip, which is a Castlevania staple.
I'm Richter Belmont, last descendant of the Belmont clan. I kill vampires! Who's fucking next?
I am EBN freaking coach, and we make videos. Sorry, got a little carried away. Fighting alongside Richter is Maria Renard, a young revolutionary and mage who grew up with Belmont and is seen as his adoptive sister. Her mother Tara is also in the small group of protagonists. Tara is a powerful speaker who uses elemental magic like pyrokinesis and cryokinesis to combat the vampire menace in France. Right away in the first episode, the small team are joined by Annette and Edouard, using the powers of her ancestors and a wicked pair of summoned blades. Annette escaped enslavement in the French vampire-occupied Haiti with the help of her companion Edouard. Edouard is also a character fighting for France's freedom, and he likes to sing a lot. Now that's the good guys. Who are the bad guys? I mean, after all, it's not Castlevania without the bads, right? Beginning with Ulrox, an ancient Aztec vampire that is on no one's side except his own. Using his dragon form, he killed Richter Belmont's mother as a young Richter stood by and watched. This is a fascinating character that will definitely have a great deal to do with the end of the story before it's over. Drolta Suentes is a lead servant under her mistress. She uses her vampiric power to crush her enemies.
Crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and hear the lamentation of their women.
My bad. Wrong franchise. Before turning vampire, Drolta was a priestess of Sekhmet, the Egyptian goddess of war, plague, and chaos. Abbot Emmanuel is probably the most despised character in the series. He's a dark priest serving the big bad by producing demons or night creatures for the upcoming war. And there are some very interesting story threads involving the abbot. You'll see. Now finally, Elizabeth Bathory, the big bad. And oh yeah, she is big and bad. Elizabeth Bathory uses the power of the Egyptian goddess Sekhmet. She is known as the vampire messiah and claims to be a god, and she is certainly worshipped as one. Speaking of being a god, the good guys cannot even scratch her yet. The crazy thing about this character is that she is based on a real-life person from the late 1500s and early 1600s. Are you ready to be freaked out? Let's go. It is a grim tale stained by blood, haunted by torture, sensationalized by sex, and increasingly disputed by scholars. It is the tale of Hungarian Countess Elizabeth Bathory. The real-life Elizabeth Bathory was born in 1560. She is often proclaimed as the most prolific female serial killer of all time, accused of slaying more than 600 young women inside her lavish castles. According to legend, she believed that bathing in the virgin blood of the people that she had killed would grant her eternal youth. She holds the Guinness Book of World Records for being the most prolific female serial killer in recorded history. I don't know about you guys, but I am sleeping with my teddy bear tonight. Castlevania Nocturne is a tale of the young team of protagonists having several challenges to overcome. Seeing the death of their parents, losing their best friend, being left alone, suffering in slavery, losing magical abilities, among many other things. The team has a mountain of challenges to face, and we see them grow over the course of the brief 8 episodes. Not long after the group comes together, they are on a mission investigating where the vampires are located. As they are spying on the vampiric activity in the area, Annette spots a specific vampire that infuriates her. While Annette sees him, she loses her cool, and very quickly, the team is spotted. It was here, just in episode 2, where the team was fighting for its life, and we see the death of Edward. After each fight and throughout the show, we see vampires gathering corpses so more night creatures can be created for their army. Some of the episodes in the series do a fairly good job of providing backstory and context, such as episode 3 when we discover what Annette went through in Haiti. The writers also made an interesting decision to go ahead and reveal in episode 3 that the recently deceased Edward was now a night creature. This story thread would play out a few more times throughout the rest of the season. As the story continues, Tara knows a secret passage to get to the monastery catacombs. It was at this point I wasn't sure if I was watching Castlevania or a Diablo animated series, which I would be in favor of.
Hello, my friend. Stay a while and listen.
The team goes down to the catacombs where night creatures are on patrol and many others are locked up. While a battle in the catacombs ensues, Annette finds Edward in his cell. Dracula is attacking Maria, and everyone is fighting for their lives. The story had some really good moments that made you wonder what was about to happen. One of those moments was when the abbot stops Dracula from killing Maria. Why did the abbot save Maria and not Annette? I mean, Annette's getting attacked and nobody cares. But Maria, no, you can't attack her. And obviously we find out later that the abbot is in fact her father. This is about as close to a Darth Vader Luke Skywalker father reveal as I've seen in anime in a long time. The writers did an adequate job of showing us the hero's journey with Richter Belmont. He was a magical boy who went through a tragedy. After the tragic killing of his mother by the vampire Ulrox, he lost the ability to use magic. During that time, over the next 10 years, he becomes proficient with the Belmont Whip and is an impressive vampire hunter. While the team was fighting in the catacombs, Richter hears the voice of Ulrox and sees him. This took him right back to 10 years earlier when his mother was killed. Richter, in a panic, runs. We see him go it alone, but in the process run across an old man named Just. Just imparts some wisdom to Richter, and come to find out, he is actually Just Belmont, Richter's grandfather. The story moves forward and Richter and Just are attacked by a group of night creatures and vampires. When they were facing certain death, at that moment, the magic returned to Richter Belmont. He burnt all of the enemies to a crisp with little effort. The team comes back together after Richter once again realizes his full potential. But as the team was reuniting, Elizabeth Bathory finally arrives. Now, a criticism that I have is that there wasn't a whole lot of build-up to Elizabeth Bathory's arrival, and it took a little too long in the series for it to actually happen. Later in the season, Elizabeth Bathory would have many scenes to help establish her character, because she was pretty much a mystery in the first half of the season. Eventually, Tara, Maria, Richter, and Annette plan to break into the Abbey and destroy the demon-making machine, deciding to attack at daybreak to eliminate half of the competition. But the Messiah, Elizabeth Bathory, carries out her plan to cover up the sun, and she accomplished it. It is at this point where Elizabeth Bathory transforms into her final form, the goddess of war, mistress of dread, lady of slaughter, Sekhmet herself. The team cannot hurt her. Richter hits her with the whip several times and she cannot even feel it. In the meantime, the abbot was trying to sacrifice his daughter Maria to prove his allegiance to Elizabeth Bathory. Tara volunteered herself as a sacrifice instead of her daughter, and Elizabeth agreed. However, it wasn't really a sacrifice. She was making her a vampire. Our protagonist lost. They all lived, though Maria was badly hurt. Tara was their only sacrifice at this point, but at the end, things got crazy. A character from the original Castlevania series shows up, and it appears that he will be joining the team during Season 2. This character is none other than fan favorite Alucard, the son of Dracula. Talk about a cliffhanger, and I loved it. I would say that Castlevania Nocturne is a must-watch if you are a fan of Castlevania on any level. Or if you like vampires and demons or corrupt evil churches, this show is for you. There was a lot of really good action, but not so much action where it becomes boring or stale. I thought that the storytelling component of Castlevania Nocturne was one of its biggest positives. It wasn't perfect, but it kept me in the entire season. I was literally interested in seeing what was happening next, and it was always easy to go to the next episode. The voice acting is near perfection, and the series did a fantastic job drawing a clear line between good and evil. Castlevania Nocturne is a dark and mesmerizing series. It is a world filled with vampires, demons, magic wielders, regular people, good people, corrupt people, and a rich lore that can keep you hooked from start to finish. Overall, I give Castlevania Nocturne a 7 out of 10. We have the entire Season 1 on our Patreon where you could do a watch-along with us. And if you enjoyed this video here at EBN, we'll be doing many more reviews of movies and series, and we'll even have a retrospective series where we look back at some of our favorite movies and series of all time. Leave us a comment and share your thoughts about Castlevania Nocturne. We are UR Echo Base Network. We will see you guys on the next one.